Yo, what's up? It's your boy Kevin Miller, and the day is the 15th of July, 2016. Today's topic is basically it's how to react when a woman decides to leave you or she doesn't respond exactly how you want it to. I know a big topic among a lot of y'all, especially people around my age and younger is basically stability. There's no stability in this day and age, right? You sit back, you kick it with a woman for a while, everything seems cool, and then all of a sudden it's that let's talk, let's go our separate ways thing, or that's if she's being courteous. If not, she'll just disappear and tell you 2 weeks when she pops back up, oh, I just been busy, and yeah, if you're younger, man, you're gonna accomplish this a whole lot because there's really not much commitment these days. So one thing you gotta understand in this day and age, man, is most of these women, they come to play. They don't come to stay. In other words, they come around to experiment, to see what you got, and then they get bored and they go on to the next thing, right? So what you gotta do, you have to come in and you have to expect, you have to expect this sort of behavior. You have to be prepared mentally ahead of time. Because if you're not mentally prepared, man, it's just gonna ruin you. You're just gonna feel terrible because you're expecting one thing and now it's gone. Your whole castle and came crumbling down, right? As soon as that woman decides to get up and go out that door, all that stuff that you done imagine, all that stuff that you done work for, is gone. This is why I always tell people, never build your life around that significant other. Don't do it. Integrate, integrate them into your life, but never make them your world. Because 9 times out of 10, people are gonna do them. Sooner or later, they're gonna do them. They're always going to look for the next best offer, and as soon as they find it, they out the door. You know what I mean? So this is how I look at things now, man. Some of y'all, if you're in your 30s, you remember Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and all of that. Basically, those were stores where you can go, you can rent movies, rent games, and all of that. Now, how this relates to this subject is, when you went into the store and you got your game or movie, you already knew ahead of time that you're gonna have to bring it back, that it wasn't yours, that you didn't own it. So, when it was time to go back, you didn't feel all this anguish and distress once, once that little copy of that game or that movie left your presence. But if you bought a game or a movie and somebody took it or you lost it, then you'll be very distressed, right? So, basically when you come in ahead of time, not expecting permanence, just expecting the woman to eventually leave, you're not going to be overly distraught because you prepared yourself for what is, in many cases, inevitable. And basically, when you're dealing with somebody in this day and age, you got to kind of expect them to be ready to head out that door, Enjoy their company while they're here, but if they decide to pick up and go, open the door up, let them go out, you know what I mean? Because, what I found was, if somebody has it in their mind that they want to leave, there ain't really nothing that you can do and keep them around. Emotionally they're checked out, emotionally they're ready to move on to the next thing. And if you try to keep them around, you're only gonna be holding them hostage. You know what I'm saying? So mentally they are already moved on, but you might have them there physically, but they're still gonna be planning their escape. They're they're somewhere else in their mind. So if a woman tells you, yo, I want to go, I can't do this relationship thing anymore, you know what I'm saying? Don't try to convince her to stick around. she's thought about it for a while. You know what I mean? She's emotionally checked out. So just let her go, man. And if you listen to the older videos like that I put up, remember when I told you to stay fly? Remember when I told you to keep your appearances up? You know, keep everything about you sharp, you know? The thing is, as soon as she steps out the door, if you done kept yourself up, there's a whole bunch of other women that want that chance. You know what I mean? So, if one leaves out the back door, there's another one ready to come through the front door, you know? And really, most of us men don't want to act like that, you know what I'm saying? But just given the transient nature of most of these women these days, transient meaning they don't stick around. They're here for a short time and then they gone. You know, this is why we do what we do, you know? Now, what I'm telling you is, enjoy her company while she's here. If y'all decide to do a relationship thing, don't cheat. But always stay fly and never get overly attached to where, like, if she left, you couldn't function. You know? So basically, man, if a woman wants to go, don't handcuff her. Open up that door and let her go free, man. And, you know, there's a whole bunch of other women that want to come in and see what you're all about. That's really how you got to approach things in this day and age, man, because things just ain't lasting like they used to, you know. You can come through with that winning game plan, or you can just sit around here sulking and just be in misery all day, you know. I'd rather not sit around here complaining and worried about somebody that I don't want to be around anymore, you know. Because all a woman is doing when she's leaving is opening up the door for a woman that really does want to stick around. You know what I mean? So, on that note, don't be over here crying. Don't be over here worrying about a woman that decides to leave. Just realize that, you know, there's plenty more opportunities. There's a lot more women out there. And, you know, if you done kept yourself up, man, it ain't gonna be too long before, you know, you find another woman. Hopefully that's the one that wants to stick around. But on that note, peace. I'm out.